Hey folks, welcome back to the channel and our gunsmith series for Tarkov 1.0. We're pushing on forward with gunsmith part 7. This is the M4, the first M4, and what I think is really the first of the more difficult kind of level restricted gunsmiths. But we have some good stuff in here for you. The first build I have for you is really cheap. It uses a quest reward to build the gun, which makes it a lot cheaper, or a barter. But don't worry if that doesn't work out for you. I have a second build at the end that is building it from scratch that'll get you there without being too expensive too. So let's get right into it and get this M4 built for you. Okay, so what we're gonna start off with is the M4A1 SOP Mod 2. Now there are two ways to get this. The first one is Punisher Part 4. It is a quest reward for that. It's a little bit more difficult than it's been in the past to get there, but it's worth it if you get that before you do this task. You don't have to do it, but it's there. Now, if you don't want to wait for that, there is another option that is pretty cheap, and that is to go to Mechanic 2 and do the barter. It's 2 pro kills. It's going to cost you about 180 to 200,000 rubles for the M4. But the good news is that gets you almost all of the parts you need. So those are your two options. That's our base. That's what we're starting off with, is this SOP Mod 2. Now, like I said, we'll do another build based off of just a standard M4 to help you guys out if this one doesn't work for you. Well, let's get through this one first. All right, now the big hang up is the 60 round mag. This is the biggest thing for this build. You can either find these in Raid, you can get them off of Raiders, Rogues, wherever you're gonna get it. You need a 60. Now the preferred one is gonna be the Snag mag, the 60 rounder, the Surefire Mag 560. We can do it with the P mag, the D60, and we'll talk about that alternate once we get this built because there's just a few small changes. But let's get into what we got to do to this first to get it ready. So you're going to need a couple of parts. You need a MBUS Gen 2 flip-ups front sight and rear sight. It doesn't matter. They can be black or tan. A CAC vertical grip. The Romeo 7 sight, which you'll get used to seeing this. The OMRG black overmold rubber grip. Now this is on Peacekeeper 3, but it's also really cheap on the flea market. After that, you're going to need a Bodil, which is the Badger Ordnance Tactical Charging Handle. It's a +1 charging handle. And then the Troy M7A PW stock. This is also, I think it's on Mechanic 3, but it's also super cheap on the fleet. Now, there is a barter for the D60 as well on Peacekeeper. It is Peacekeeper 3. It's not too bad. It's 2 printed circuit boards and a GM counter. And that will get you the Surefire 60 mag if you can't find them in Raid. So let's pull this apart and figure out what we need to take off of it first. Pull the mag off, pull not just the carbine, the MOEFDE, but you want to pull the carbine buffer tube off as well. The charging handle, obviously the Spectre. Then you're going to pull off the ANPQ, which save that. Obviously, it's nice to have a Spectre scope with this, but you want to save this as well. You're going to use that in gunsmiths later. Pull off the grip, and then pull off the canted sight that's on the front up here. And this is pretty much what your M4 is going to look like, a beaten stick, nothing more than that. And then we're just going to drop all the parts on. We'll start off with the PDW stock, the Bodil, the grip. Oh, I forgot to pull the grip off. I forgot one part. Pull the grip off, put the grip on, the Romeo, the CAC vertical grip, the 2 MBUS sights, and then your mag, your 60 round mag. And here's the beauty of this. We are at 3.474 weight, which is way under the 3.8 requirement. We're way under the recoil requirement. Not way, but we're underneath it. And then you have your 47 ergo requirement. Now, if something changes and you're hung up on this build, the really quick thing you can do is put a bad lever on here. And it's not going to change your stats enough to match, but it throws on a 2 extra ergo in case they do some changes. You get hung up and it's not working because there's some decimal point. That bad lever is one other piece that'll get you there. But that's it. That is the Gunsmith Part 7 build. Now, if you want to go with the D60 mag, there's only a couple of real small changes you have to make, okay? So we're going to pull off our 60 rounder, right? We're going to take off the 2 front sights, or the 2 MBUS sights, the front and the rear sight. Those don't work. And then you also need to pull off the Bodil. And then you put your D60 on, and then you put your AR-15 charging handle mag on, which is the same one that you had here. I bought an extra one. It's the one that, we'll just go back with this one. It's the one you started off with, right? The one that came on the gun. And this is the same thing. We're 47.5, same recoil. But the key thing is you're under that weight, 3.775. And that's the big difference between the D60 and the Mag 60 is the weight. The D60 is heavier, but it has better ergo. So that's the parts you're swapping around for it there. So this is our other build with that same base stuff if you're using a different mag. And then you can turn that in and be done with it. But we're not done yet. Let's talk about real quick. Let me clean up my mess and we'll talk about building the M4A1. Okay, so the M4A1 standard gun. You can get this one or the other version of it. There's the other one. I think it's off a mechanic. It doesn't matter. I just want to go look so you can see it. The Stop Mod 1. Doesn't matter if you use this one or the standard M4. The process here will be the same. It's just different parts that come off. Again, you're going to need your 60 round mags. There's no way around it. The good news about this build is it doesn't matter which one you have. Both of them work. So you just have to have a D60. Get that. We already talked about that. And let's go into the build screen here. We're going to do it a little bit different because there's a lot more parts to it. Okay, now to do this, we're going to do this in the weapon building screen. And that is because there's a lot more parts here. And so I want to go through this screen with it. Plus, you can just kind of walk through and do it as I do it as well. The first thing we're going to do is going to go through here and take our parts off. We're going to start off with the carrying handle. That's going to come off. The hand guards, which if you do the top one, it just pulls them both off. The charging handle can stay, but we do need to take the barrel off. So that's going to come off. We're also going to take the stock off, and then the pistol grip and the upper can stay. The first thing we're going to put on is the barrel. We're going to come here and we're going to look for the 10.5-inch barrel, 10.3-inch barrel, which is right here. Stick that on there. And then we're going to stick right back on top is the old gas tube that we had from before, the one with the front sight post. From here, this part's going to be kind of hard to find, but what you're looking for is the Surefire SF3P flash hider. That's the part we're looking for. So you're going to click on that, and then you're going to come up for the 5.56 Mini. Now, this is going to be one of the most expensive things to buy here. It's on Mechanic 3. It's on the Flea for a little bit more price, but it is also a loyalty level 2 barter on Skier. We'll talk about that in a second. So we'll put that on. Now the handguard is pretty straightforward and easy. We're going with the MOE SL. That's it. Nothing crazy. And then on the bottom of here, we're going to put on the M-Lock, the Daniel Defense Enhanced M-Lock Vertical Foregrip Kyle Brown. I mean, you can do black if you want. I just put the Kyle Brown on there. Now from here, you put on the, this is the Chris Defiance DS150 stock FDE. Again, you can do black if you want. Just kind of stick to tan. And then we're also going to stick our typical sight we've been using here. Let me get this hidden a little bit. The Romeo 7, and that goes right on top. And then we're going to slap our 60 round mag in here for good measure. We'll pull up the stat screen and look at what we have. Now this one completely slaughters the stats. You're not even close to anything. You're way underweight. It doesn't matter which mag is in here, whether you do this one or the D60, you're way underweight, so you're good there. Your ergo's 43.5, or let's go back to the other one, 51.5. So we're way over the required 47 ergo. You're underneath your 300 recoil requirement, and then you have the 800 sighting range as well. Now, if for some reason you get hung up on this, you can change the gas tube on here. Weird things can happen. It doesn't matter which one, they all work. As long as you can put it on there, just slap one on and you'll be fine. But that's pretty much it. That is your Gunsmith 7B build. Now let's buy the parts here. We're going to go through it. I'm going to show you the buy screen and I'll put it together so you have that screen as well. I'm going to skip off on buying the Surefire real quick. All your other parts here that we don't have already are going to be 71,000 plus the suppressor. If you're buying the suppressor off the fleet, you're talking 150. So not too bad. Add in the M4 cost, which is anywhere from 60 to 70,000 rubles, and you're pretty close to the same cost as the other, the SOCOM 2, the Stop Mod 2 that we built, except you don't get an LCAN out of it. You don't get some of the laser device, which you can use later in a gunsmith. You don't get those, so it's kind of a wash. This is a little bit more expensive once you count the suppressor, especially, but it's there. So we're gonna purchase all of these. We're gonna get those in our inventory. Let me go back out here real quick, and we're gonna go look at the suppressor that is on Skier 2, so you guys can see that barter. It's right here. It's a VHS tape. This thing costs 55, 60,000, so it's pretty much the same as the barter. This might get a little bit cheaper, so you just keep an eye out when you're looking for it. Now you can also buy this off a mechanic, boil it to level 3 if you want. Super expensive though. It's like 127,000 rubles, I think. Let me find it here real quick. Yeah, here it is right here. 127,000 rubles. Super expensive. Cheaper to buy it on the flea, obviously. You can also get these off a couple of different kinds of guns. I think Bird Eye's gun has it, and some of the Rogue guns have it. But that's your option. That's how you can get it. I was just going to spend 100,000 on that like a dingbat. Let me go. Let me buy this off the flea market real quick. Actually, we'll just put the gun together. There's no reason to do that. We'll just edit the build, open Gunsmith 7B. We'll assemble. We'll buy the part. 78,000 rubles. assemble, done. And that is your second Gunsmith Part 7B build. Here's the screen for it if you want to see it, if none of those other things work. But that's it. That's Gunsmith 7. Again, I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to that like and subscribe so you see all of them. Appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you with Gunsmith Part 8.